Thank you all for joining us tonight to learn more about the upcoming project happening at Cook Park. My name is Lindsay Kinke, and I'm an Associate Project Manager with Denver Parks and Recreation, focusing on capital improvement and Elevate Denver bond projects. Next slide, please. Tonight, before we really get started, I'd like to introduce you to this virtual format. I'd like to note that we are currently live, but there will be a meeting recording available and posted on our Denver Parks Projects website for viewing at a later date. While this virtual meeting or this virtual world is becoming more and more common, we are still learning our technologies. So please excuse any errors or issues that we may have during this meeting. You may see guest appearances from our kids, our significant others, our roommates, or our pets. So just please be understanding during this time. Next slide, please. There are closed captions available for this meeting tonight. You can have those in English, Spanish, Arabic, and Russian. To find this, there should be a closed captions button on the bottom of your screen, likely on the right-hand side. Turn the closed captions button to on and select the settings button to choose the language that you'd like to view in. At the end of this meeting, we will be completing a question and answer session. So for those of you that would like to submit questions tonight, select the messages icon on the right-hand side of your screen and ask your question, or the Ask a Question panel should pop up to ask your question. Mallory, my teammate, will be monitoring these questions, and you'll hear from her at the end of this presentation. She'll be chiming in the background with things you may have chatted in. If we don't happen to get to your question tonight, we will be posting a question and answer sheet on our Parks Projects page along with this presentation, so you can find out your answer then. Or if you think of something or don't get a chance to ask a question this evening, feel free to reach out to my email listed on the right-hand side of the screen, and you'll see it a couple other times tonight. You can reach out directly to me, lindsay.kinke@denvergov.org, and I'll respond to your questions and comments at that time as well. I'd also like to note that we do have about a 40 to 60 second lag time with this meeting. So at the end, we may give a minute or two if we don't see any questions chatted in initially during this presentation. We'll give a little bit of time for that. Next slide, please. Now I'd like to introduce you to our project team. Like I said, my name is Lindsay Kinke, and I'm an Associate Project Manager with Denver Parks. I'm joined by both my team members with Denver Parks and Recreation and THK and Associates. Mallory Roybal is the East District Planner. She's been working on providing us with information on existing park assets, reaching out to key project stakeholders, and assisting with outreach for this project. And you'll be hearing from her at the end as she chimes in with the question and answer portion. From THK and Associates, I'm joined by Sydney Schell, a landscape architect and project manager with the firm. She's been working on all aspects of the project, from the initial site analysis to the project precedents you'll be seeing later. In addition, we have Lucas Busher, who has been assisting Sydney with this project, and they're both anxious to hear what you have for them this evening. I'd also like to thank Jesus Orentia with our marketing department, who's been assisting with production in the background. Without him, we wouldn't be able to put this virtual meeting on tonight. So thank you to this entire team. We couldn't do it without you. I'd also like to take a moment to thank Councilman Cashman, who is vital in reaching out to us with requests from the citizens and is here listening tonight. So thank you for helping us stay informed, and we're looking forward to hearing from you with any feedback. In addition, I'd like to thank our District Parks and Recreation Advisory Board member, Lynn Mason. Please reach out if you have anything for us. And I'd also like to thank our registered neighborhood associations near the park. They're vital in getting the word out about these projects. This includes the Cook Park Neighborhood Association, the Linwood Neighborhood Association, and the Indian Creek Neighborhood Association. We hope that you'll share these plans and reach out to us with any comments. Next slide, please. So with that, we'll start our discussion of the project. Cook Park is a 37-acre park located in Virginia Village. This park was identified as a need for a playground, basketball court, and walks. As part of the Denver Parks Capital Improvement Program, we identified funding for the playground and the basketball court, $750,000 for the playground and $125,000 for the basketball court, a total of $875,000 from our capital improvement program. In addition, this project will eventually have Elevate Denver bond funding, although this is not available to the project yet. This funding will cover a portion of the walks for $200,000. So in total, once we have the bond funding and the capital improvement funding in place, we'll have $1,075,000 for this project for both design and construction. Since we have the capital improvement funding available, we are looking at the project holistically to include the priority walks for replacement to have them ready and designed once we do have the bond funding in place. In addition, we have asked the design team to look at other park elements in need of upgrade at a conceptual level, which will help serve Denver Parks with a starting point and plan for the location, planning, and materials to inform decisions about replacement costs when additional funding does become available. These areas include the parking lot north of the Recreation Center, the picnic shelter surfacing and tables near the playground and basketball court, and the walk system throughout the park. This will help us identify and plan for the future for funding necessary to complete these needed improvements. Although, as I stated before, this particular project will focus mainly on the playground, basketball court, and then priority walks to move forward into construction documents. For a quick timeline, at this moment, we anticipate construction documents being finalized in winter of 2021 and construction starting in fall of 2021. This is our first public meeting, and we are trying to get a sense of what you, the community, would like to see in your park. There will be a second public meeting in the fall to present what we heard and some concept plans to you. In addition, we are also looking for participation in a focus group session to happen in mid-August. So that would be a virtual meeting with small group breakout sessions to target inclusive playground design, what that means, and how we can better create a space for people of all abilities. So if you do have interest, please contact me with your information and we'll get you updated or keep you updated on that, that particular focus group session. So tonight, Sydney with THK will be going over the project to date. She will be speaking to the existing conditions, some of the results from the current online survey we have, design inspiration. We'll look at our question and answer session and what to expect next. And there is an online survey that does follow tonight's presentation. See the link at the bottom of this page. It will also be sent out as an announcement to the meeting. And that's something that you can follow along with tonight or look at after this meeting. It's another opportunity for you to provide input on what's being presented this evening for the existing conditions and the design inspiration. And we will also be keeping track of that in the question and answers portion if there's something in particular you'd like to see, or you can reach out to me via email. So with that, I'll send this over to Sydney with THK to start reviewing the project with you.
Hello everyone, I'm Sydney with THK. Again, I just want to reiterate that this online survey that follows this presentation is really a good thing so you can get involved in our presentation. Normally in a face-to-face meeting, we would have you put dots and sticky notes to collect your comments. So this is a kind of our method that we are trying out in this virtual world. So please feel free to fill out that survey and give us all your comments and concerns that you have throughout this presentation. I will start with the existing conditions for Cook Park. We have a site map here. I will go through site inventory and analysis. That really just is going to be a section that tells you what the site has and how we are seeing it. Following that, we'll go through strengths and weaknesses analysis and an opportunity and threats analysis. And what that really means is like we're just looking at our site opportunities that we have to make this project and these renovations and utilize those strengths as we go through the design process. The opportunities and threats, again, threats are something that we want to be aware of so we can avoid during the design process and really understand the site. So with that, the site map here you have in front of you. This is the project location. It's along Cherry Creek Trail, along Cherry Creek Drive and Monaco Parkway. We have a bunch of different walkway conditions, including concrete walks here in the gray. We have asphalt walks here in the white and some desired dirt path lines that you guys are taking for little shortcuts to get to parking lots or different trails. We also have the areas highlighted in purple, the shelter and parking lot. Shelter's located here, if you can see my cursor, and then the parking lot over here. Like Lindsay had mentioned, we will be studying these areas at a 30% design level to determine kind of a direction we think the city should take when funds become available to improve these areas. The next and our main focus tonight is the playground and basketball courts, along with some priority walks. We are going through an ADA report to really understand the condition of these asphalt walks, and we'll go through an internal process and listen to your feedback on which ones we think need to be prioritized first. The last area are these little asterisk stars where there may be some ADA non-compliant walks that we will look at as well. So moving on, I will go through the site inventory. Again, the walkways, we have concrete walks, asphalt walks, benches and picnic tables and additional amenities like exercise equipment along these paths. We will most likely be looking along the asphalt walks when we get to the design phase and classify which ones are our priorities. The basketball court was put in a while back, and it has a faded surface. It is a non-standard half-court size, and currently there are no benches that are around this area. Something that we were wanting to consider as well during the design process. The next one is the playground. As you can see, this playground is a majority sand surfacing. We have some poured in place surfacing, which is a rubber surface located here in red. This equipment is dated. This playground's about 30 years old, and it's looking to get, this is why we're looking at it, to get updated. This playground currently does provide age-separated play. You can see younger ages in the back here by my cursor, and then more that 5 to 12 range over here. Another thing that surrounds this playground are large and mature trees that we will also want to consider. Strengths and weaknesses. So again, strengths are things we want to look at and really think about during the design process. We have mature vegetation. This is a strength because it does provide shade for the kiddos that are out playing on these playgrounds. Another strength is we already have a good amount of existing paved sidewalks that are in good condition. Existing programming. What that really means is the park already has a really strong program set up. You have multi-use fields, a playground, restroom, shelter, and people are out there using those spaces, and the park is fairly busy. So it's a good strength because people are already using how it's intended. We have an existing bathroom close to the playgrounds, as well as there are restrooms located in the rec center. And then we also have existing planter structures around the playground area and basketball court, dividing spaces and program uses. Some weaknesses of the playground. The playground is out of date. It's not up to ADA standards, and some of the spaces in between, like the shelter, playground, and basketball court, aren't as interconnected as they could be. Also, there is current issue with maintenance access to the trash receptacles that we are going to be looking at. And also the site is fairly flat. We see this as a potential weakness in playgrounds because there is no elevation change in play that is naturally occurring. Some opportunities and threats. And again, some might think this is very similar to strengths and weaknesses, but opportunities really are seeing the potential in the site, and threats are really notifying us before we start the design process on what we need to do to make sure the project is successful. And I will go through these. Opportunities. We already have a pretty decent playground footprint, so we can utilize what is already there in this playground renovation. There is an existing basketball court as well, which may mean we only need to do minimal renovations depending on public feedback. And again, the existing paved walks are also an opportunity, so we can focus our energy on and funds on designing other aspects of this project. Some threats of the project. Some limits with the existing footprints. If we find out that you guys want bigger basketball court, or we need to add more play equipment that doesn't fit into the existing footprint, that was seen as kind of a limitation and a threat that we can work around. And then proximity to existing vegetation. This really is something we want to ensure that we are protecting those trees that are providing you shade on those hot summer days, and we will ensure throughout the design process and construction that we are protecting those large mature trees. All right. Next, I'm going to jump into our survey that we currently have open. So we have a survey that goes over different play components, and I want to kind of go over these results that we have thus far. This online survey, as you can see here above, right above the bottom title, we've extended that survey to be open till July 31st. This survey really hits hard on understanding how you access the park. Do you walk? Do you drive? How far away you live? And then also what types of play components in a playground you and your children, grandchildren, friends would like to see in this playground. So some of the INTERM results, these are updated as of Monday. So if some of you have given us results in these past 2 days, don't worry, they will definitely get in. And some of these numbers will change as we get final results at the end of the month. So far, over half of you live within less than a mile from the park, which is great. We'd love to see that. And most of you are walking, which is also fabulous. 71% of the surveyors are walking, which is great. One of our questions is, in your opinion, what do you or your youth child think would make a great playground? Consider opportunities for all ages and abilities. So far, we have some responses that you guys have written in. We have a couple of them here. I'll read. Someone would like to get rid of the sand. Their 9-year-old is handicapped, and introducing all abilities equipment would be fantastic. Third priority for them is lots of shade and canopies. Over here we have Ben, age 6, who wrote in a ladder, things to climb on, shade so equipment isn't too hot, and a zip line. Another question we have on the survey is, what types of play does your youth child like? Classic, we have a 92% rating on swings. That means almost 100% of you love and enjoy swinging. Slides came in second. Obstacle courses and climbing wall are tied in third. We have probably 8 additional options on this question. So if you're not seeing what you like, we would love to have your opinion. Jump on that survey. Again, listen at the bottom of your screen here, and tell us what you like. So another big question that we are asking in the survey, and we'll hit on this in the design portion, is what style of playground do you like? Traditional, which means that metal post and beam. Modern, more abstract shapes and rope structures. Nature-based, which includes logs, sand, boulders, and other can be just about anything you can imagine. So it looks like right now modern and nature-based is really close tied. So again, we'd love to hear your feedback. Get in there if it's so far it's not representing what you like. A few more quotes that we got in the survey is, no sand, please. Please have shaded areas and picnic tables nearby. And then also, again, trees to shade the slides. people don't want to burn their legs while they're going down them. I will jump into our design inspiration section. We will be going over the walkways, basketball court, playground, and some inclusivity and accessibility items as well. Just kind of as a little guide through this section, you will be seeing images with letters. We are wanting you to kind of write in on our chat bar to your right. Please include the page number at the bottom right and the letter at the bottom left of the image. If you see it and you like it, please send it in to us, post it, and that is a good way. We'll take all of that feedback and as something to consider as we go through the design process. And again, we have a survey of this presentation available online at this link to take place again of that kind of sticky note comment dots that you would see in a public meeting that is face-to-face. So please, you can either chat here live with us today, or you can go on and take that survey link right here and give us all your ideas, comments, and what you like in the presentation following. The first one is our walkways. The big priority that we're focusing on is priority walks that are asphalt will be upgraded to concrete. And then we'll also take a look at specific walks that need to be updated to ADA standards as noted on the existing conditions map. Also, we will be looking at that and considering benches and picnic tables located next to where the new priority walks are. Basketball court. We want to hear what is the desired court type and use. Does the current size of the basketball meet your needs? Do you desire a half or a full court? Upgrading the surface and providing different markings on the pavement in these areas, is that something you would like to see? And again, throughout this presentation, you can give us a page number in the bottom right and a letter if you see anything you like. Here we have a multi-purpose space providing different recreational activities other than just basketball. These images also show seating around these courts. As you can see in images B, they have some stone slabs, and C, they have picnic tables that are right next to the court. Providing benches, and then also we'll make sure anything that we're renovating will meet ADA requirements. So, the next one, playgrounds. This slide is really showing you different types of playground styles. So in the top left, A, is our new traditional. These are mostly bright custom colors, a mixture of obstacle courses and different challenging events throughout the whole structure. It's a play on the traditional, obviously, post B, which is your typical post and platform playground, slides, and stairs that get you up high, a series of bridges and climbing events. Nature inspired, C. This really uses more the natural materials It uses wood chips as play surfacing, log wood steppers, sand material, and really creates a more natural feeling when you're in the space versus these bright, shiny metal and plastic structures. Also, we have D is a rope theme, and this is, as an example, you can see it's more of a climbing and sequential structure that children can climb on, and create their own play opportunities and paths. And again, feel free to post what you like. We are taking all of that into consideration. You can do that by responding with the page number here and a letter that you like. And you can like more than one as well, so we'd love to hear it. This slide, play components. Here we have different slides, swings, and spinners. Here you kind of see a embankment slide built into a grassy slope, and the use of a metal slide. B, we have kind of your typical plastic traditional slide. C here is another metal slide that incorporates an accessible landing pad for people who need to use a wheelchair or other instruments. They can slide over and help themselves into their chair. D is a plastic roller slide. It's made up of spinning little wheels that rolls everyone down, and you can get multiple people on these slides as well, and children. Swings. We have a variety of different swings. E is your saucer swing. You can fit a few kids and adults on here. F is a companion swing. Two children can swing facing each other. G is a wheelchair accessible swing. And then H, we have a bucket swing that kids can be strapped into. I is showing just kind of your typical bay and how each bay can incorporate different types of swing here, and this one also includes your classic swing. Spinners. This one is called a cozy cocoon. It's good, creates a shaded area that kids can hop into. It really is good for children with autism. It creates their own little safe space. K is a rope spinning tower. You can fit tons of kids and this whole thing spins. It also has an accessible opening for children as well. This is an accessible wheelchair and can hold many people spinner, kind of another take on a merry-go-round. This one is a more kind of an overhead merry-go-round where kids can hold on and that whole thing spins. N are kind of these solo spinners. Kids sit on them and their natural body weight spins them round and round. Yeah. So again, I'll mention, like, definitely put a number and a letter and tell us what you like. You can also take our presentation survey and fill out these questions as well and mark all that apply that you like. Some additional play components. We have climbers, steppers, bridges, tunnels, mounds, and overhead play components and more. This one up at the top, A, is a boulder scramble. Kids can climb over it, more of that natural themed. B is a combination of boulders and ropes that kids can climb on. C is an accessible net climber that can kids can hang out on, climb, and get to higher elevations. D is another representation of climbers that you can hook on to traditional post and platform play structures. And then E is kind of that natural log steppers that you see in nature-based playgrounds. Bridges, tunnels, mounds. F right here is a bridge that is incorporated into a play space. There's ropes all over it, so this whole thing is a play structure. Kids can jump on it, climb over it, crawl under it, all those good play activities. G is a earthen tunnel. Kids can climb through and climb over this space. H are kind of pods within that poured in place surfacing, which again is that soft squishy rubber surfacing you see in newer playgrounds. I are tunnels within that rubber rubber surfacing. These are always fun to run over and kids crawl through them. J is more of a structured tunnel climber. Kids can climb in these little cubes and climb to the top. K is a representative of kids climbing on the rope underneath of it and incorporated into other play components such as a mound. And again, we are really just trying to understand kind of the themes you and your community like. So choose as many as you like and let us know. So overhead and more. Monkey L is your kind of a classic monkey bar. This is a newer shape from when I grew up, but got monkey bars. We have climbing domes with ropes in them. That's your M right here. N is kind of that arched monkey bar. O is a kind of a surfboard that kids can play on. They can sit, wobble. And then P is a stationary roller slide that's just flat that kids can pull themselves through. Different sensory play components. On this slide, A, we have some musical elements. We have an xylophone. B are soundboards that hearing impaired can plug into and listen to different sounds that they can create on the board. C, we have bells that people can play on. D is some drums. And E is that large scale chimes that multiple people can use and make music together. F is a sensory dome. When inside, the children can be provided with shade and the different lights coming through the holes, providing a different experience. It's big enough that multiple children can play on it as well. And you can also climb all over it, as these children are doing in this picture. G is a tunnel with different colored panels that the sun can shine through. H are really themed and bright and colorful play equipment that children can use to create their own story through imaginative play. I is a stand table to get people and children playing with natural materials. J and K up here are different types of sensory walls that help children really feel and understand different textures and colors, lights. L is an electronic game board system that multiple kids can play and is also accessible. M is a add-on to your typical post and platform structure that has games, and you can other panels you can spin, they make noise. There's a variety of those different types of sensory play items. N is also an electronic game with sounds and buttons that multiple children can play together with. So please, again, send page numbers and letters. Let us know what you'd like. Inclusivity and accessibility. So what that really means is in playground design, we really try to incorporate these 5 different things. I'll go through each of them. Multi-sensory play experience. That is really focused on movement and balance, body positioning, touch, hearing, and visual experiences. Encouraging all to play. That means we are providing ranges of challenges of play. We're grouping similar equipment together. We're offering multiple age groups of play, and really allowing each person to have a real choice between how they want to play. Allowing greater accessibility. That means providing shock absorbing surfaces, allowing plenty of movement, and smooth transitions on and off equipment. Supporting children that are autistic. That means offering those cozy, quiet spaces, establishing perimeter paths, and as well as a wayfinding system that helps orient the children. Lastly, fostering a welcoming social environment. What this means is everyone has different types of play that they are comfortable with. That means solitary play, onlooker play, parallel play, and cooperative and associative. So we are actually having a focus group that really dives into these different inclusive and accessible play design elements that we want to hear your thoughts on how we can incorporate this into Cook Park. So with that, I will hand it over to Lindsay again to wrap up the meeting and head into our Q&A session.
Thank you, Sydney, for going through those project elements and looking at what's possible in the park. I'd just like to note that when we were discussing the survey results and removing sand from the play pit, we believe that to be removing the surfacing of the sand for the entire play pit. And when Sydney spoke to including sand as an option, she was speaking more as adding it as a feature in the park and just an element for sand play in a sandbox as opposed to a surface. So we just wanted to clear that information up for you. Now you might hear from Mallory in the background if chiming in with any questions that you may have chatted in at this time. I see that she's been posting some of the responses from this presentation tonight with what you've liked, but we're looking forward to hearing from you. We'll just give it a minute.
Okay, Lindsay, it looks like we have one question here. Let me look through it. We have a question from someone who I will publish that now, who's asking about the playground cost. What would be an example of $1 million playground or $1 million basketball playground or a basketball court and a playground remodel like we're looking at here?
You know, I guess we could follow up with some imagery for that. Some of the other project budgets I'm not as familiar with. As we get into design, we'll have some concepts to share with you, which would show what a project of $1 million of this scale, and actually we have $875,000 for the playground and basketball court, but typically it would be, since we have a good playground curb edge here, we can put a lot of focus of this project budget into the playground. And in addition, we should be able to create, either a more elaborate concrete court with the $125,000 that we do have. But we could follow up with some additional imagery that might help answer this question a little bit deeper.
Thank you, Lindsay. It's looking like we have one more question. Based on the timeline that we're on currently, is everything set to be completed on a timely fashion based on kind of this project timeline?
Yeah, so we are looking at completing the playground, basketball court, and the walks that we do have funding available for once the Elevate Denver bond funds do become available to us. So likely that will be what we have identified as the priority walks for this park, but we do anticipate that we would complete this all at one time during construction in fall of 2021.
Thank you. Another question that came in, is the basketball court mandated by the city?
I don't believe that the basketball court is mandated by the city. We can dive into that a little bit deeper, but I do believe that it's up to the community on whether or not they feel that the basketball court is valued in this park.
Thank you. It looks like we don't have any other questions at this time, but if we want to give it maybe another minute.
Sure. We are hoping that some of you will be interested in working with us on the focus group. Like I said, that would be a small group breakout session where we really dive deeper into this inclusive play of piece of the project and trying to really create a nice space for people of all abilities, and really, gauging what you want in this area.
Looks like we have another question that came in regarding water features. Are water features an option here at this playground?
I'd have to ask and discuss that with our maintenance and operations staff. I know that as part of our game plan, we are trying to focus on conservation of water, so I can look into what that would look like as a potential for this park as we get further into design. As I know, splash pads are very popular.
Okay, is it possible to integrate the creek into any of these plans? Because we know the creek runs nearby.
There might be a possibility to do so, and I can ask Sydney to take a look at that in further detail as we develop these concept plans. I think there's a great association between the playground, or we could increase the association between the playground and the creek.
Great, thank you. We don't have any more questions at this time.
Okay. Well, if you come up with anything after this meeting, please do reach out to my email address. It's listed, down on the bottom of this slide, lindsay.kinky@denvergov.org. Sydney, if you'd like to switch to the next slide. Just to reiterate our next steps, we will be doing the virtual focus group session. So if If you do have interest, please email me with your information so we can include you in the group. We are anticipating that would occur in mid-August, so we'll be putting that together in the next week or two. Do watch for another public meeting to happen in the fall. We will be presenting the information that we've heard and some concept plans to you. So next steps, THK will be putting together these concept plans, and then we will be pushing for construction documents in winter of 2021 to be finalized, and then construction occurring in fall of 2021. So just please feel free to reach out to me if you have anything additional, and we look forward to your comments and your feedback, and we appreciate you spending your evening here with us tonight. Thanks.